Well, we've had Dr. Christopher Duma on a couple times before, and he has spoken very eloquently about how music heals people. And Dr. Duma is here today. Nice to see you again. And your foundation, you're with the Foundation of Neuroscience, Stroke, and Recovery.
That's correct.
And you've brought along the composer of this symphonic suite about healing music, Mike Garson. Nice to meet you, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's quite interesting. Just, I think it was this week, we played the movie Awakenings with, of course, Robin Williams in it, and that was based on a true story.
Yes.
And there was a part in the movie where they talked about music, how it would make these people sort of come alive, so to speak. And they even touched on how it had to be certain kind of music for certain types of people, that it touched on something in their past. And I was watching that going, this is exactly what Dr. Duma has talked about. Remarkable. This
Well,
has been looked at for years then, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is just one of those other therapies that really hasn't got enough press, to be honest with you. I mean, we know that music can make a Parkinson's patient who can't walk dance. We know that it can make an Alzheimer's patient start remembering, and we know it can make people in pain feel better, but yet it's not used in our world today, although it's been used for millennia, as long as a drum has been around or an instrument has been around, to help soothe and heal. So the concept here is to get music therapy into, first of all, the major hospitals in the area of Orange County as part of a regular program, and also to places like Laguna Woods. How wonderful it would be to have a music therapy department here in Laguna Woods daily, every week, a special performance and a special training session for patients to benefit from music. That's our mission.
It was, you know, last time we spoke, it was so interesting to hear about that, because you were talking about how memories are scattered throughout the brain, but something about music, there's a center there that just, it focuses people, doesn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, quite interesting. Mike, you composed this suite of music. How did you approach this, and what type of music is this? Is it like what would be equivalent to classic Beethoven type music? Is it more modern, or it encompasses many different
It
things?
really encompasses classical, some jazz, some pop, some new age, my own style of music. There's vocal songs in it. It's a very big range. All my musical experience went into it, and I've been thinking about this thing for about 20 years now. The good news is Dr. Duma asked me to present 30 pieces to his 100 patients, and they chose their favorite 12, which turns out to be the Symphonic Suite for Healing. So they even said some pieces, this makes me anxious, so we cut that out. So it was his patients that chose it. Can you call that scientific method? Probably not, but you knowing by 100 people saying we like this, so that's what we made the show. And when we performed this with 100 pieces at Segerstrom Hall a few months ago, it was very effective.
We're going to go to a clip here that you guys brought along for a couple minutes.
That was from that show, yes.
Yeah, from that show. So if we could show that, we're going to then come back and tell you how you can attend a concert right here at Clubhouse 3 coming up on November 2nd. We'll be right back. And you can see this was done up at a Segerstrom Hall. And what's wonderful here, all the young kids who were performing as well.
Children's choir, 55 of them, and the best in Southern California, and I have regular orchestra, but I actually hand chose the musicians. I didn't just use a symphony orchestra. I chose my favorite musicians from California and New York.
Wow.
So it
Quite
was a project,
impressive.
we spent a year on it, but
Yeah.
on Sunday next week, November 2nd at 2 o'clock, we're actually doing a mini version of it, but with 9 phenomenal musicians. We have an opera singer coming in from New York. We have the best clarinet player in the world at 23 coming in from Korea. So we're doing it, we're serious about this.
And Doctor, you were telling me about a Parkinson couple that's going to come up and dance, and
Right.
how the,
There they are.
here they are, and the woman
Nancy Dufault
is in
and
a
her
wheelchair
husband.
or a walker and gets up and dances.
Yeah, she actually asked Mike to write a special type of tango for her, because that's what her brain
Yeah.
allows her to loosen up so that she can dance and enjoy her life. If she's not dancing, she's actually using a walker to get around with great difficulty. So her Parkinson's disease is progressing, but we are able to treat her in this fashion musically.
Yeah, I find that so interesting, and the studies that are going on. You were saying that maybe one day there'll be some sort of a device people can wear and just all day
That's
long.
what we're
and
working on.
I think that's wonderful.
We need support. We need charitable financing for this. So if anybody's out there interested in making this happen, we'd like to know about it.
Do you find in this field, in this industry, and I mean the medical industry, that when you find something that you know will work, but it's different than what mainstream thinking might have been for years, even though we've looked at this for decades,
Right.
as you said, are your colleagues a little bit more reluctant? Maybe they're not seeing what you're seeing or understanding what you're seeing, or are they very open to new ideas?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, think about this. You know, what we all are focused on is research in the laboratory, getting this new drug, a new drug here, a new drug there. And it takes a decade to create a new drug, to test it, look for its side effects, and then we use it. We don't have that time.
Right.
You know, and all of a sudden we have something that we've had for ages, as simple as music, and we should be using it. And am I saying it cures any of these things? Absolutely not, but it certainly relieves a lot of the symptoms.
Yeah.
And it's here today. We've got it. We don't have to research it.
Yeah.
We're doing a little research by using Mike's compositions to see which musics work the best for the patient's problem. But, you know, this is an untapped resource as far as I'm concerned.
Mike, your history. Obviously, you've said this is something you've looked at for years, but prior to that, you've been a composer for years, a pianist. You worked from New York?
I'm from New York. I've worked in the jazz world with people like Stan Getz and Freddie Hubbard and Lee Konitz and Elvin Jones, but I also worked with David Bowie from 1972 to 2004. I've worked with Smashing Pumpkins, Nine Inch Nails. I've played with Nancy Wilson, Mel Torme. It's been all around. I played at Lincoln Center with a jazz classical group. We combined the two. It was called Free Flight. So this is all I've done my whole life, but it feels age appropriate that I've switched to 70% of my attention on this symphonic suite for healing, and then I'm going to do specific ones, one on autism coming up soon because my grandson lives with us, has autism. He was on the screen there, and the music has helped him tremendously. He was very, very anxious, and now he's playing the piano. He'll sit on my lap, I'll play him Mozart, and he dissolves right into my lap. You could feel him relax. So I'm seeing this firsthand. So I know the music works.
Music heals, right?
Music
I mean, I think that's wonderful. And I wanted to ask: is there of some of this music here, if somebody wants it somehow, a DVD? A CD available?
We'll have it at the show that day.
Wonderful.
The themes from the Symphonic Suite for Healing, and we're in the middle of putting our DVD together from the Segerstrom Hall. We'll have that in a few months also.
All right, I do want to mention again, November 2nd at Clubhouse 3. Tickets range from $19 to $39, but there's a special number that they need to call, 866-232-2526. And you can, you know, if you forget that, I'm sure you can call us. And I'm sure if you just call Clubhouse 3 and you're saying there's the Music Heals concert coming up, I know there's a different way to buy tickets for this. They're going to give you that
And it's
information.
at 2 p.m. It's an
yes, 2
afternoon
o'clock.
concert.
Yeah, on November 2nd, which is a Sunday. And not only are you going to learn about this, because there's going to be a question and answer period after the concert with both Mike and with Dr. Duma, which is going to be very, very informative. You'll get some great music, maybe buy a CD, but you'll be helping in a way too, because you know, a lot of the proceeds here go to this research. I think it's absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
Fascinating.
Thank you.
It is.
Thanks.
Thank you for both of you coming on. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, we'll be back.
Appreciate it.
You know, it's like even in simple things.